Hey world, what's going on? This is Samuel Rodney back at you again with another episode of Be Inspired Podcast where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. 5 lessons that I learned from the military that has helped me to have a successful week. And you may be wondering, like, why did I come up with this idea? Because Veterans Day is on Tuesday, and I just want to thank all the people that I've served and respect them. Initially, I was looking for someone that was in the military and served and had a business that they could have come on here and share. But I was like, well, I have a business. I have a podcast. I have a therapy company and a coaching company. So, well, here I am. So I want to start off with saying shout out to Iron Sharpens Iron, right? We did a Spartan race today, 10K. Boy, that was a challenge. But the most inspiring thing about that 10K was that there was this guy who has a rare chromosome disease, right? And he has done 9 Spartan race. The doctor stated that he wouldn't be able to walk, he wouldn't be able to pass 1 year. This guy is about 20 to 21 years old and he's done 9 Spartan races, right? And that just goes to show, right? Even though this guy is on a wheelchair, he's still out there trying to become the best version of himself and do something challenges to make him get to the next level. So if someone in a wheelchair could do a 10K and 25 obstacles, what's stopping you from going after your dreams and making it become a reality? What's stopping you from saying, okay, this isn't it. What do I got to do to make it to what I want to live? You know? So that was really inspiring to me. Shout out to Gerard, shout out to Eddie, Michael, and Tony. We all there, we all did our thing. We worked together as a team, getting through all those obstacles. Man, my arms are still sore, so I ain't gonna be moving my hands for a couple of days. But the most rewarding experience is having the never quit mindset that I had out there. Sometimes it got hard, but all I could have kept in my mind is, look, never quit. Just keep going and do the best you can. In each obstacle, do your best and don't quit on yourself. So one obstacle that was really challenging, it was the end of the day. It was the end of the trail was the rope climbing. And I was trying, my arms was done. I could have feel my arm. So your arms or your body is really sore when you start feeling the soreness the same day. That's when you know that you really pushed yourself, right? Because usually soreness comes on like after the workout, maybe like later on the evening, but this one came on the same day. So I went to climb the rope and I was like, try pulling myself up and it wasn't happening. And I usually do good with ropes. I've done rope climbing before. So that was a challenge. And I was feeling like I didn't try hard enough, but I really did. So when I felt like I didn't try hard enough, I walked away from the rope and then I came back. I was like, no, I'm going to try again. And I try again. I got the same results. So I pushed myself harder than I've ever done. I pushed through, even though it was hard to finish the whole race. I still pushed through, and that's the rewarding thing. So in the Spartan Run, one of the things they've done so you could get your shirts was adding an extra mile at the end. So the extra mile is so you could acquire your t-shirts. And I know I'm talking to you about my experience today, but I'm going to jump into this stuff. I just wanted to give you guys a little backstory. But they give you an extra mile. And on the extra mile, they says that once you get there to the words of shirt boot, you could do squats, you could do push-ups or burpees. And the veterans get to go through free because they serve, right? That's no big deal. I was able to go through free, but my friends, my team was there. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna leave you guys hanging. I'm gonna do the 30 push-ups. Let's go. So it was me, another Army guy, and a Marines. And we all did the push-ups, even though we was tired, dehydrated, and just wanting to get out the sun. We pushed through again. So guys, shout out to all those people that did the race today. Shout out to that guy that did the race. And you know the funny thing about that one person that was in the wheelchair is I went to school with the founder of the organization. So maybe we'll get him on here one day and he could share his story, but he's been doing this for the past 5 years, and it's going to be an interesting experience. So let's get into it. I just wanted to give you guys a backstory of how my day went in the Spartan run, and I hope you enjoyed the little snippet that you got. I'll be sharing it on social media, showing the picture, showing me jumping over the fire again. Hopefully, I got a better picture of this time versus last time. So we'll see how high I jump this time. But some things I wanted to talk about as it relates to military and also things I learned that catapult me to the success that I'm seeing today, right? So the first thing is leadership, right? In life, we gotta make decisions. Like leadership is about doing a thing that no one else wants to do, right? It's about being willing to do the things that you're telling people to do. So making the decisions, making the hard choices, making the decisions and sticking with them. So we can make, sometimes as a leader, you may be indecisive. And that's one of the things I struggle with before I I became a business owner, right? I struggle with decisive decision making. But I was listening to someone and they said, look, just make a decision, whether right or wrong, just make it. Because at the end of the day, it's a decision. And if it's not one that you should have made, well, you could pivot. You could switch directions. You could learn from it. What could you do different? Or what can I do to make it better the next time? So you may be listening to this, or how many of you have had trouble being in a leadership position and making decisions? It's a challenge, but we got to be able to make the right decisions to make sure you have the success that you want, right? And that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I think is very important that helped me throughout this year is resilient. Being able to bounce back from hard things, right? Not many of us is able to bounce back when something happens, right? Whether it's a divorce, it could be a loss in marriage, it could be, excuse me, it could be a failed test, it could be a failed licensure exam. It could be you could be in the military and the helicopter landed 100 feet away from the drop zone. Now you got to figure out how you and your soldiers got to get over there to that helicopter. And you got to fight your way through. Nothing happens as planned. Some things are going to go left. Some things are going to go right. But what are you going to do when it's happening? Are you going to just drop your hands and be like, man, it's not working out? That's an option. But why have that as an option? Let's go ahead and figure out, okay, how can I get through this? What do I have to do to get to the drop zone where the helicopter is? And how can I fight through and make sure I lose the least amount of guys that I can to get through it? That's the mindset. That's the being resilient, being able to bounce back. Yes, you had a bad marriage. Are you gonna go and end it all? No. Like, what did you learn from that marriage over 10 years? What did it teach you? Yes, in the moment, it's heartbreaking. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not heartbreaking and people don't understand what you're going through, the mindset. It's a lot. It's not easy. But, however, there's light at the end of the tunnel. In every situation you face, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And you just have to have that little glimmer of hope to see that light at the end of the tunnel, right? So it could be anything. It could be a loss of job, be losing a friend. Maybe you lost your best friend that you grew up with, and now something happened and the relationship has gone. However, yes, it's gone, but what can you learn from it? How can you grow from it? Once you take on the growth mindset, and I'm not going to say much about the growth mindset because we've touched on that in previous episodes. Once you take on the growth mindset, you'll be able to see this life is happening for me and not to me, right? Life is happening for you and not to you. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So the first one we talked about was just being a leader of your life. Do the things you're telling people to do. So if you're telling people you gotta run 2 miles, you better be out there running 2 miles. You better be out there working out. Why tell people that you're to do stuff if you yourself can't do? That's the fastest way to lose credibility, to have people question your leadership, is not being able to do the things that you're asking them to do. And then we talk about resilience. And then the next thing that I learned from the military that helped me skyrocket 2025 was just being fitness. Every day in the military, you have PT, you have physical training, you have to show up, you got to do whatever they had. In basic training, we had to wake up every morning and do PT. The only day that we didn't do a physical training was on Sunday, which was fine. But every day you did PT, you did run, you did 30, 60, 90s, you did a 2 mile run, whatever the day was, you had something to do. A PT test, those PT tests was rough. Yeah. So fitness helps or helped me to skyrocket my goals this year because I was pushing myself. I was pushing myself mentally. I was pushing myself more. So when pushing myself mentally, I was able to push myself in other areas of my life that I was struggling with. So for example, I was able to push myself at work. I was able to push myself at my own company. I was able to push myself more in other areas because it was the mental toughness. Instead of saying I'm done, it would be the extra rep that I did, the extra mile that I didn't know was piling on to help me. And then also fitness is just help with your emotions. Fitness helps with working out helps with it could help boost depression. It could help with your anxiety. It could help with anger. If you're angry, go to the gym. Go lift some weights. See how that anger comes off. Yes, you still got to process the underlying emotions of why you're angry. However, going there, letting the stress out, letting all the everything stay there and going home free and not angry is really good, right? So next one is fitness. So that's three of them, right? The next thing I want to talk about is just never giving up. In the military, you're taught to never give up, no matter what. Always push through, right? Give it your all. Because if you quit, you're quitting on your battle buddy, you're quitting on your airman, your wingman, whatever you may be, right? If you're on a boat, you're a sailor, you're a seaman, you're quitting on whoever is right next to you. And you want to develop that never give up mindset, right? Because there's times that things are going to be hard. Have you experienced something that was hard in your life and you wanted to give up? I'm sure you have. What is that thing that you wanted to give up? Share it in the comments. Share what was that thing that you wanted to give up, but you decided to push through no matter what. And that's what it takes, man. Never giving up on your goals, your dreams, the lifestyle you want, the family you want to create. Never give up. Just keep going. You deserve whatever you're striving for, right? And the last thing I'm going to touch on is work ethic, right? So work ethic is one of the things that you have because in the military, right? So be yourself. Outwork everyone that you encounter. There was a saying Will Smith had said one time, if you put me on the treadmill, I'm with somebody else, is either he's gonna die on there or the other person is gonna quit. You just gotta outwork everybody. And then you're gonna start seeing the results that you want. Do the thing that they're not willing to do, whether it's waking up early, whether it's doing some extra reps, whether it's just doing one extra speaking gig or it's a video for that day. Do the things that some people aren't willing to do so you could get the results that they're not willing to get. Do the things that other people are not willing to do so you could get the results that they won't be able to get, right? So how many can relate to having a strong work ethic? Again, just go ahead, share your thoughts. I just want to, real quick, before we wrap up, right quick, just give a quick shout out to Creative Dream Collective. They have been completing our flyers. They've been helping with the shirt designs and a whole bunch of different stuff that's coming down the pipeline. So, guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to her. If you don't know her, her link will be underneath here in the video. And I just wanted to thank all the people that serve, right? You're a veteran, veteran, sailor, whatever branch you serve, we all serve this beautiful country that we live in that allow us the freedoms that we have today. So I just want to thank all you veterans, everyone that's watches this show, everyone that comes in every week and listen to me talk, or you listen to all the awesome guests that we have in the past, which we had some really amazing people, and I'm grateful for everyone that has been on here. Guys, I just want to thank you all for tuning in another week of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundance you deserve. So I want you to go out there and elevate your life. If you love this episode, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment. Comment your thoughts. Let me hear you. Talk to me. Let me know what stood out to you the most, which lesson stood out for you, and which one you want to implement coming up in 2026, because we have less than 2 months to 2026. And you know what? One thing I learned is that don't wait till New Year's to start making your New Year's goals, your New Year's resolutions, whatever you want to accomplish for the New Year's. What I learned is start now, start today. Why wait? What's gonna hurt? It's not gonna hurt anything. The only thing that's gonna happen is that you'll have a 2-month head start on everybody that decided to wait till January 1st. Because, January 1st is going to come around and a week is going to go by and people are going to be like planning their goals still. But you already have a plan. You're already executing your plan. You're 10 steps ahead of the person who decided to start on January 1st. So go ahead and start working on those goals today. Go ahead and start making that plan. Go ahead and start making that vision board. Go ahead and start living the life that you deserve to have. So this is Samuel Rodney signing off, and I'll catch you on my next video or the next episode of Be Inspired Podcast. Have a good night, everyone.